Animal Crossing is a life simulation game by Nintendo in which you're essentially given the task of creating a village of your own construction. You can fish, you can catch bugs, you can interact with a whole range of different characters, and it's incredible. The first 4 installments of the game, Animal Crossing, Wild World, City Folk, and New Leaf, were all released to warm praise and critical acclaim. However, about 2 months ago, a new game in the franchise was released, Animal Crossing New Horizons for the Nintendo Switch. The question on everyone's mind then, has New Horizons lived up to the high standards set by the rest of the series? And ooh, it's good. It's really good. Yes, I think Animal Crossing New Horizons could just be the best one yet, and in this video I'm going to be explaining why I love it so dearly and how I became so attached to a bunch of virtual talking animals. Without further ado then, let's begin. By far one of my favourite things about Animal Crossing games is the amount of freedom for creativity and customization. New Horizons basically works on the premise, you've been stranded on a desert island, now do with it as you please. In previous games, this creativity came through the ability to upgrade your house, place furniture, buy landmarks, plant trees and flowers, and build roads. New Horizons takes this to another level. Whereas it used to only be possible to place furniture within your house, you can now place it anywhere you want, meaning you can design areas of your island around different styles and themes. This is further emphasised by the addition of crafting. I know what you're thinking, what is this, Minecraft? But the addition of crafting means there are so many more items to play around with. Wanna place a pile of leaves in the middle of the floor? No longer do you have to wait until the shop finally has it in stock. Instead, why not collect a load of weeds off the ground and voila, your town is now 10 times more beautiful. Crafting recipes can be found by shooting down balloons out of the sky, picking up wash bottles on the beach, and by talking to villagers in your town. If that wasn't enough for you, some absolute genius also decided to add terraforming to the game, allowing players to do a complete overhaul of their island's shape and size. If you want to make a huge mountain in the middle of your island, there's nothing stopping you. How about a canal system like in Venice? Or maybe a secret little grove hidden by cliffs on either side? The ability to edit literally every square tile of space has left almost limitless choice in how you want your island to look and function. Add in multiple variations of inclines and bridges, and you can genuinely spend days making your island as aesthetically pleasing as possible. Great news for me, someone who's willing to waste an entire lifetime deciding on the ideal combination of flowers. If you want a perfect illustration for the effect of adding these features, then you don't have to go far to find a whole array of interesting and amazing creations. Look, this person has created a nice marketplace, and this person has created a whole suburb, and this person has created the Bee Movie, and this person, the point is, it's really enjoyable to build a whole village of your own creation from the ground up, and in New Horizons that experience is better than it's ever been before. And having said that, I'm now going to take you on an experience that you've never had before. That's right, it's finally time for the long anticipated return of Kipton. For those who aren't aware, in my previous video on Animal Crossing New Leaf, I did a tour of my old town, Kipton. Don't ask me where the name comes from, I have no idea. I know it's weird, but please, show some respect, and hopefully while touring Kipton we can explore some more features New Horizons has to offer for those who aren't as familiar with the game. Come with me then, and we'll start ourselves off at the airport. You may remember in previous games, you could use the train station in your village as a means of getting to other worlds outside of your own. Seeing as New Horizons is based on a tropical island, this service now comes in the form of an airport run by world-famous air travel company Dodo Airlines. The company is run by dynamic duo Orville and Wilbur. Orville runs the desk and offers you the chance to fly to either a friend's island or a randomly generated island that has the chance of containing new rare items items, bugs, fish, fruit and flowers you couldn't necessarily obtain on your main island. Wilbur is the pilot who will fly you there, and aside from speaking exclusively in air traffic terms, he also has the most booming and buttery voice ever to grace the world of Animal Crossing. Strolling upwards from the airport, you can enjoy the full beauty of Jukipton's many parks and green spaces, before we finally find ourselves at Resident Services, which houses the town hall and also acts as an events plaza. The town hall is inhabited by a couple of familiar faces. Isabelle, who helps you with things such as your town tune, town flag and island evaluations, and of course the absolute Chad that is Tom Nook. Once upon a time, Tom Nook was nothing but a tradesman until he finally moved into real estate, and now he's reached his final form as the out-and-out leader of the island. Or at least he thinks he is, but what he doesn't realise is I've actually been pulling all the strings in Jukipton thus far. Don't tell him though. From the town hall, Tom Nook allows you to build inclines and bridges, move buildings around and upgrade your house, as well as just generally guiding you through the start of the game. In summary, he's a living legend and I won't hear a bad word against him. To the right of Jukipton's town square is Abel's sisters. That's right, yet again, Sonic the Hedgehog and her muted sister Sable are here to provide you with a new variety of stylish garms. Their third sister, Label, has now branched out into a more niche style of fashion, and she appears every so often in the town square. To the right of the town square, and just above this gorgeous fountain, we find Nook's Cranny, run by Tom Nook's child labour force. In my other video, I mistakenly referred to Timmy and Tommy as Tom Nook's sons, but as it turns out, they aren't even related, which arguably makes this situation even more sketchy. Anyway, the shop remains mostly the same, supplying a few items a day for purchasing, and Timmy and Tommy are as willing as ever to purchase any item you offer them. It's honestly a wonder they're still in business. They buy about 200 sea basses a day. Heading back outside of the shop, we now find ourselves next to one of Jukipton's main residential districts. There's a whole 402 recruitable villages in Animal Crossing, ensuring each village is likely to have a unique combination of residents to interact with. Each villager has a different personality, as well as their own catchphrases and slogans, adding to their individuality. If we use Jukipton as an example, Lopez the goat, Renee the horse, Axel the bodybuilding elephant, and Octavian the squid all live on Noob Street. Octavian in particular is an interesting one. His house looks really nice from the outside, like I love what he's done with the place, but then you get inside and you feel like you're about to be abducted by aliens. Dotted around other areas of my town are Bertha the hippo, Louie the gorilla who's also obsessed with working out, Humphrey the hamster, Ricky the squirrel who boasts a very nice monobrow, and then my two favourite villagers, Sprinkle the penguin who, thanks to me, calls everyone she's talking to a fool, and Paolo the elephant who for some reason doesn't shut up about the bugs that live in his floor. A new addition in this game is the fact you can now gift villagers one item a day. So say I was to gift one of my villagers a pair of tiny sunglasses, they would then go around wearing them. Again, this just adds more customizability to the game, and it also makes you feel a little bit more attached to each member of your town. So now that we know where other people live in my village, the real question is, what is my house like? I'm so glad you asked. Allow me to show you around. The first thing you might notice is that I've got my very own street. What? I'm not going to live near those scrubs. Plus, otherwise I wouldn't have space for this wonderful garden I've made for myself, or my bee farm. To craft each one of these apiaries, it requires 3 whole bees' nests, so I'm surprised that my guy is still alive after the amount of times he's been stung. Anyway, if you'd like to follow me into the front room here, my house is a bit of a mess at the moment. It's pretty much just a strange assortment of items that I've happened upon. The front room is roughly based around a bamboo theme. You'll notice this giant stick of bamboo in the corner. If you interact with this bamboo, a baby actually comes out. Pretty cool if you ask me, just a source of infinite life in my lounge. Also, I just want everyone to know that these 2 tapestries cost me a grand total of 360,000 bells. I now have no money as a result. I'll take you through to the spa room here. Again, this room is just full of things, unfortunately. It's quite hard to actually go anywhere in this room because it's not big enough yet, but I still think it's a great place to relax. Now we'll investigate the back room, which as you can see is just beautiful. It's full of blossom and the wallpaper's actually animated. Don't know how that's possible, but then we get to the party room. I'm gonna be honest here, I got a DJ Dex in the post and I had no idea where to put it. I also somehow ended up with these giant ice cream cones, so I just dumped them all in this room and I'm calling it the party room. Just don't think about it too much and take a listen to KK Bubblegum. And there you have it, that's my house so far. It's by no means anywhere near finished, so don't judge me too hard on this, please. Anyway, from my house, if you take a left at the crossroads, go over this bridge and through this arch, you'll find yourself at the bamboo forest. And whoa, is that Po from Kung Fu Panda? If instead we take a right at the end of the bridge, it takes us past this beautiful flowery area with a well, eventually leading to a short canal section. If you're looking for a nice picnic area, may I suggest you travel over towards Jukipton's answer to Niagara Falls. I haven't quite developed my Highlands area yet. I was planning to build some sort of shrine on the highest point of my island. For a while this area was home to Godzilla, but he moved because, you know, there weren't any buildings to smash up or anything. There's a campsite down by the river here. This is probably the main way to recruit villagers to your town. Every few days someone will turn up here in a tent and you can invite them to stay. I eventually plan to make the area next to the campsite a kind of temple of the moon. I saw you can get the moon in this game, like you can just place down the moon. I'm not sure what repercussions that's going to have on the tide or gravity in general, but it'll look nice. I'm also hopefully going to turn this area into a garden full of bonsais, but at the moment I only have one. He was getting a bit lonely, so I put a cactus in there as well. This raised area is slowly becoming a Greek-style hanging gardens. These are my two friends, Donatello and Michelangelo. And look at this! Forget Niagara Falls, this is more like Yoshi Falls from Mario Kart. The Yoshi Falls coastline, as I like to call it, also includes a pier where you can catch big fish like tuna, marlin, and the mahi-mahi. There's also great landmarks such as the Pixar lamp, the real Stonehenge, and finally a big old Maui head. This area also includes a secret beach, which is now occasionally occupied by Crazy Red thanks to the most recent update. Crazy Red is a fox who trades on the black market for paintings and rare items. If you manage to distinguish between what's genuine and what's fake, you can actually donate these paintings to Blathers the owl, who works at the museum. The museum has been given a huge upgrade in New Horizons and is possibly one of my favourite things in the game. There were only 3 exhibits until the addition of the art gallery, those being fish, insects and fossils, but each exhibit is really well designed. I particularly like the butterfly room in the insects section, and the entire aquarium is just really well done. There's even a glass bridge section that lets you walk inside of one of the tanks, and it's a nice touch that the fish are now displayed more as they would be in real life. For example, anchovies now come in a huge shawl rather than just being one tiny anchovy in a tank. And I'm afraid that sums up our tour of Kipton for now. It's a work in progress, but one day it'll be glorious, trust me. If it wasn't obvious already, this game is adorable. From the way the characters talk, to the sound effects, to the graphics, it's all perfectly designed to be as cute and wholesome as possible. Nintendo have really focused on the small details to help make your virtual world feel unbelievably cozy and charming. Community events like fishing tourneys or Earth Day bring with them new characters like my favourite character in the game, Leaf the Sloth. Visitors like Celeste, Gulliver and Wisp all have goofy personalities, and let's take a moment to fully appreciate the legend that is KK Slider. Is it weird that I actually really like the song KK Cruising? Not me, oh, me now. Is that strange? Honestly, if any musician in real life was able to boast a body of work this big, spanning this many genres, they'd be lauded as one of the greatest of all time, but KK Slider just doesn't get that sort of recognition. A nice little feature that I didn't know until about a week ago is that if you place a radio outside and play a KK Slider song, sometimes villagers will gather round and start singing it together. They've just added in so many little quirks to the point where even the bird that sits on top of the notice board during the day changes into an owl at night. Speaking of the notice board actually, I'm a very active member of the Kipton community, and I like to make posts on there every now and then. It's nothing big, I just post stuff like, anyone tries to spark out Tom Nook and they've got me to deal with. Okay guys, it's not funny anymore, stop making fun of Gulliver when he gets washed up. Just to let you guys know, I'm demolishing your houses. Actually, come to think of it, they're mostly threats to be honest. Blathers, you fooled me one too many times. You will accept my mammoth torso or else. Oh, here's one that's not a threat. Frick, marry, kill, Mabel, Sable and Label. It's a simple question really, but no one answered me, so a couple days later I just posted how disappointed I was. Okay everyone, the one and only Dwayne The Rock Johnson is coming tomorrow. Don't let him leave. Anyway, that's enough of those. My point is, the amount of thought that's gone into making your village feel alive and animated really goes a long way when it comes to getting the player to invest in the game, as well as just giving it a lot of charm and making it a very comfy experience. On top of this, New Horizons looks really pretty. The lighting lighting effects around sunset, the stars when it's dark, the water, the rain effects, they all just look so good. Sometimes when I'm playing, I'll literally just stop and stand still for a bit, especially when it was blossom season and there were just these petals floating around in the air. I just find it very relaxing. That's another thing I really like about Animal Crossing in general. There's different ways of playing it. You can focus on chain farming tarantulas or scorpions for money. You can invest in the stalk market, that's the stock market but with turnips by the way. Or you can play at your own pace, placing flowers, making rivers, or just walking around. It's a kind of company that doesn't involve you actually talking to other people. For me, and I'm presuming many others, Animal Crossing New Horizons provides the perfect form of escapism, and that's something that's more important than I think a lot of people give it credit for. It's no secret that part of the reason for New Horizons' unprecedented success is the peculiar timing of its release. The game came out at arguably the perfect time, and has provided a much needed respite from the stress and uncertainty surrounding COVID-19. At a time when we've been forced into isolation, along comes a game that can act as a virtual form of the outside world. And I realise it sounds a bit strange, but to an extent, New Horizons has kept a lot of people going. To me though, I think it's more than that. I've been incredibly fortunate so far that I haven't been affected in a serious way by this pandemic. I'm also naturally quite a solitary person and I don't tend to get lonely, and yet I still use Animal Crossing as a basic coping mechanism. I don't know how to put this in a way that isn't really cringeworthy, and so take what I'm saying with a pinch of salt. Since its first release back in 2001, Animal Crossing has been studied for its effects on mental health, for the way completing virtual tasks gives you a sense of achievement, for the way basic social interaction with almost overly friendly NPCs can act as the push you need to socialise in real life. For me though, it provides a break from my own head. It's a game that gives you a completely new world to invest in, a world that can be shaped based on your own imagination, but at a gradual and relaxing pace, with lots of breathing space to think about trivial things like where you should place a drinks machine, or which wallpaper is the nicest. As I mentioned before, it's just about the most wholesome form of escapism there is, and sometimes getting lost for a few hours in a game as gentle and comfortable as Animal Crossing can make a pretty significant difference. That's what it is really, it's a comfort, and I'm not necessarily trying to pretend that it's anything more than that, but embarrassingly enough, it has more value to me than just being a game. And for that, Tom Nook, I thank you. Mwah. To conclude, New Horizons has taken what was already so great about the Animal Crossing series, its charm, inventiveness, and creative freedom, and improved upon it significantly. I'm genuinely so happy that I have a Switch just so that I could play this game. And if you're skeptical at all about whether Animal Crossing is for you, give it a try. It's not everyone's thing, but if you can get into it, it's well worth it. I'm almost certain that as they add more and more to the game through updates that for the moment seem to be relatively frequent, it'll become the best game in the series so far. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to go and have a bit of a dance to some of KK Slider's songs. Leave a comment down below, let me know what you think of New Horizons. Please subscribe to my channel or I'll trample all of your flowers. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye.